Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? It is me. This is the daily devotional video. It feels so good to say that. This is a daily devotional video for October 10th, 2016. The passage that we're reading today is in the book of Hebrews, which is in the last half of the New Testament. Hebrews chapter 11. We're reading verses 23 through 29. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hidden 3 months by his parents, because they saw he was a beautiful child, and they were not afraid of the king's command. By faith, Moses, when he became of age, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he looked to the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. By faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he who destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, whereas the Egyptians, attempting to do so, were drowned. The title for today's devotional is Overcoming Trials. Moses had some tough times in his long life. He fled from a murder charge, spent years in the desert, stood toe-to-toe with a king who scorned him, led a grumbling nation through 40 years of hardship, and saw those same people run hot and cold in their allegiance. Yet once Moses learned the secret to dealing with trials, he faced them courageously. Even though he returned to Egypt with an unmistakable call from the Lord, that's in Exodus 3:10, appearing before Pharaoh must nonetheless have been intimidating. And Moses had to plead with the man repeatedly for the release of the Israelites. Pharaoh was not fazed by locusts, convinced by boils, or softened by water turning into blood. In fact, he made life even harder for the slaves by forcing them to find their own brick-making materials. In turn, the Hebrews heaped ingratitude on their leader. But in spite of all the opposition, Moses kept returning to the palace until he had achieved God's purpose, the release of his people. Hebrews 11:27 tells us that as the former prince led the exodus from Egypt, he endured as seeing him who is unseen. With a stack of trials behind him, despite a hint of more to come, in leading this unruly people, Moses moved forward, aware that he was walking in the Lord's presence. God had pledged to be with Moses every step of the way. That's Exodus 3:12. The Israelite leader fixed his focus on that promise and the one who made it. He had the wisdom to trust that I am, the eternal sovereign of the universe, would guard his way and bring him victory over trials. Wow, what a powerful testimony Moses' life is. He had a lot on his shoulders. He had a huge responsibility, huge burden on his shoulders, and he was given reasons to doubt God and reasons to get angry at God, but he kept on and he held on and he believed in the one who would call him. If we believe in the one who has called us, if we believe in God, believe in Jesus, the one who has called us to do something, then we know nothing is going to get in our way of doing what God wants us to do. And we need to just hold on and hang on and keep going in spite of the trials, in spite of the intimidations, in spite of whatever comes against us. We need to be like Moses. And right here, in spite of all the opposition, Moses kept returning to the palace until he had achieved God's purpose. May we have that same desire. May we, in spite of all the opposition, in spite of everything coming at us, may we be so drawn by God that we keep returning. Keep returning to the place we're supposed to be, the place where God told us to go, until we achieve God's purpose. And may we never lose sight of the one who made him. So God's right here. I'm going to read this again. God had pledged to be with Moses every step of the way. The Israelite leader, we're talking about Moses here, the Israelite leader fixed his focus on that promise. The promise that God made him to be with him every step of the way. He focused on that promise and the God who made that promise. He had the wisdom to trust that I am the God, regardless of way, bring him victory over trials. And God will bring us the same victory. We have to believe, and we have to keep going in spite of the opposition, in spite of the trials, in spite of what's happening. We have to keep going. Keep working toward what God wants us to do. And focus on the promise that God will always be with us. He'll never leave us, never forsake us. I hope that you're inspired by that today. I know I am. I hope you're inspired and challenged by that. To go forward fearlessly, bravely, strongly, holding on to the promise that God gave you, which is, I will never leave you. I'll never forsake you. I will be with you wherever you go. You will hold on to that promise and use that to motivate you to keep moving forward, to move to the place where God has called you to be. And you'll keep doing it and again and again and again, just like Moses did. I hope these devotionals are a blessing to you. They definitely are to me. I love you all very much. If you have something you want me to pray, if you have a burden or prayer request or something that you're struggling with, and you want me to pray for you, send me an email. I'll put my email address down below in the box. Email me saying, Kim, I'm struggling with this or that, or I have a friend or family member or someone I know who's struggling with this and that and needs prayer, and I will add you to my prayer book and you'll be prayed for daily. And I'll put the how to get to these devotionals online. I'll put that down below, as well as the Bible verse we read today, and I'll put the title for today's devotional in the title of this video. But I hope that this is not the only time with God that you have. I hope that you make time every day to read God's Word. It has so much to say. It's always relevant, always current, always important. Make time for it every day. I love you all with all my heart and soul. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.